Hey there! In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this super simple but comfortable campfire chair. All you'll need are 3 common hand tools. It's a super great project for if you're just getting into woodworking. For this project, you'll need a 2x12 section of either pine or Douglas fir, and you'll need at least 6 feet of it. I got Douglas fir, and it came out to $25. Starting off, I'm measuring 25 inches as well as 36 inches from the bottom of the board so that I can mark out where the seat is going to lie. Next up, I'm marking 2 inches in from each side up until the 25-inch mark. These are going to be the first cuts that we make, and it's going to be how the chair fits together. And here I'd like to point out that the square that I'm using is definitely not necessary. It is a nice tool to have and it's pretty cheap, but you could just use the tape measure for this. For the angles at the front of the seat, I marked 4 inches in for both the top and the side of the board and connected these lines. For this part of the seat, you don't have to do the angles, you can choose whatever design you want. I just went ahead and followed along with the picture. And now comes the fun part, sawing. I would highly recommend not using the cheapest saw that you can find. You're going to see me use a different saw later on in this video. I would recommend going with that, or spending a little bit more money and getting yourself a jigsaw. Goodness gracious. Alright, quick tip when using this cursed tool. Maybe it's the wood, I don't know, maybe it's me. Saw more flat first so that you get your line. Get a little deep. And then go like 90 degrees and just cut all that you just cut the top of. And it seems like that makes it go quicker and slightly easier, but still painful. Just kidding, not painful. It's just harder than power tools, and that's okay because it's cheaper. Hey, let's go. Alright, start again. I'm gonna go replace my right arm and then cry, and then I'll do this side. Alright. I was just checking to make sure it works. Not using it on this. No. Just making sure it's still good. We're using this fine piece of technology. Oh gosh. I made an oopsie. So next, we're going to cut these little angels off. now that we have the C portion cut out, I'm measuring 36 inches from the bottom of the board and drawing a line. You can use whatever shape, whatever style you'd like. I just chose to use the steering wheel from my racing car and just make the top rounded as the picture shows. Here is where I also found out that I own this nice coping saw that was way easier than that prior saw that you saw. Saw that you saw. There we go! Woohoo! Now, after an eternity of work, you got this. And it looks like poo-poo. That's okay. Hey, focus. It looks like poo-poo, but it's okay, because we're going to clean it up. So here in this clip, I measured up 11 inches from the bottom, and then I used the offcuts from earlier to mark out where the hole in this backrest needs to go. And now we get to my favorite part of this build, is using the chisel. I haven't used a chisel very much before I built this, but I absolutely will be incorporating it into my future projects. Using the chisel is pretty simple. All you're going to do is take the flat side of it and draw a line or hammer it in on the line that you drew prior, and go back and use the curved side and just chip away at that until you go all the way through the board. Alternatively, if you do have a jigsaw, you can drill a hole and you can use that jigsaw to cut this little cavity out. Next up, use this rasp. Come on, focus. It's a wood rasp. I think it's a metal rasp too. Or maybe this is just finer wood rasp. We're gonna take some material off and make it look nice. So in this clip you're seeing me use the really aggressive side of this rasp, and I'm taking off all of the excess wood that the saw left behind. The saw wasn't very precise, so it left a lot of uneven edges, so I'm using that aggressive side to even that all out. And then here in a second you will see me use the less aggressive side to smooth over all of the corners. And I won't bore you with the whole thing, but I went around and did that for the entirety of both boards. That works quite nice. Just like I mentioned earlier, you can see how this rasp is getting rid of all those harsh edges and making it look pretty nice and smooth. Well, we now know that it works. And it works well. It's very comfortable. You can call it quits there. It looks good, and it functions as it should. However, I want it to look a little nicer, maybe have a little bit of stain, or maybe I'll put some deck finish on it, just so it has a little bit of protection. I can leave it outside. I am going to sand it so that it looks nicer, and I don't care what you say. I know I said this is a however many tool project. I am using my orbital sander, and you can't make me hand sand it. You can't. You just can't. I'm using this. If you don't have one, I'm sorry. Make a couple of these, sell them, and buy a sander. This handsaw was enough. So after I went about sanding down the seat, I used some of this red mahogany wood stain and stained the entire board. Alright, so before we conclude this video, I just wanted to give a quick cost breakdown on everything that I used and then what I recommend using. So the wood, as I mentioned earlier, is $25. The stain for any color stain that you want is $9 if you use the same type that I used. All the tools that you saw me use were $46. However, if you already own a couple of the tools, it's going to be cheaper. So the total for this whole project with the tools that I used, minus the sander, was $80. However, what I recommend doing is going out and buying yourself a jigsaw, which you can get one at Harbor Freight for $25, and then getting a hand sander for about $20. That will make your project go a lot quicker, and the end result will probably look better as well. So choose whichever one you want, the hand tool route or the power tool route. I would recommend the power tool route. Well, I hope this was helpful, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I have plenty of plans for future projects, so if this is something you like, please subscribe, and I'll be publishing a new video soon.